Hey world, I'm Meredith Collins. I'm the co-founder of Hookist, and we have amazing partners here right now.
Hi, my name is Dan. I'm the founder and CEO of Moosiko. And Sarah?
I am Sarah Gulish. I'm the co-founder and CEO of FLAP Books, and I'm also the high school teacher who is workshopping the song that we're writing with her kids.
Jay Aaron,
Hello, hello, hello.
how are you?
I am well. Excuse me as I clean my camera. Make sure we're good there.
Well,
I'm
great,
well. How are you?
great, great, great. And thank you so much for joining us. These are my partners
Sure.
here. This is Dan from Moosiko. He has a
Hello,
super
hello.
cool songwriting, ukulele, and guitar learning platform. And Sarah is a
Oh, cool.
music publisher and an amazing teacher,
Right.
Dr. Gulish.
Hello. It's nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you
You
too.
as well.
So just so
Likewise.
you know, we are live out in the world. I believe if my technical abilities are correct, we'll see. Well, I could be wrong, and this is all going nowhere. But I think that we're live in the world. And so I'm going to just tell the world who you are. Duwendé, we wrote an amazing song with your mind-blowing a cappella band.
Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you.
I mean, it's great.
Yes. Yeah.
Could
It
you
was
please
it was a good it
tell
was a
us?
good time. It was mostly like it was mostly the Hookers community. They really made the song what it was. We couldn't have done it without them. So yeah, that was such a great and fun collaboration. Duwendé says hello. I told them that we were speaking today, so they send their
Nice.
love to say hello.
So
Um,
six-person band.
yes, yeah, I'm in a six-person acapella band based in New York City that goes by the name Duwendé. The group's been around for quite some time. Uh, it's we like to say this is its like second incarnation. It's been around for many many years, but I've been in this group for about 13 years now. So when I was a sophomore or junior in college, that's when I joined this group. Since then, right in the very beginning, we decided to do a bunch of cover songs, a bunch of Michael Jackson tunes that we decided to record the process with. Long story, very, very short. We thought
Should,
our mothers and grandparents would love it,
should we
but
tell
so
everybody what a cappella means in case some of the students don't know?
sure, absolutely. So in its traditional sense, a cappella means without instruments, so just voices. So what it means now in a more modern day sense is everything that you might see if you're familiar with your pitch perfect or your pentatonics. It would fall in the lines with that or any other collegiate group that you might see or have heard out there. There's usually a beatboxer, someone who sings bass, background vocals, imitating instruments, but never any instruments.
And it's mind-blowing. I mean, it's just you just can't believe there are no instruments. And there are some
we
instruments.
we try our best.
Oh my God, it's crazy. It's crazy. And our
And
song,
what's your specialty?
I sing leads, so I'm usually kind of the MC slash front and center hype person. But when I'm not doing that, I sing background vocals and do a pretty mean guitar lick if I say so myself.
totally. And you guys have traveled all over the world, and you've worked with some amazing people on your own. You're all, and that was a thing I thought maybe we'd talk about a little bit is
Sure.
like you have so many jobs, like you're the front man in a band, but then you also do backup and then you are a producer and you do. So it's like, I think sometimes kids don't know like all the different opportunities that there are in the music industry, and to be,
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I mean, especially I feel like it was such a unique time frame. I mean, I'm not, um, I don't go back as far as like analog recordings or anything like that. But I do think the music business has like not that that's super long time ago. I've already put
I
my
go
foot in my
back
mouth.
that far.
But even since then, like the music industry has changed so much that it doesn't necessarily revolve around, I'm sure you guys all know, record sales. Like it's not getting it done anymore, no matter how many records you're selling these days. So you have to kind of be a Swiss Army knife of sorts. You have to be a jack of all trades in order to make on this level. Just you have to wear so many different hats, and if you're able to do like pivot easily and make things kind of work in that way, then you can do really well. I think a lot of people get afraid of like how much money they can make in this business, but as long as you're always looking on how you can musically serve not only yourself as an artist, but other things, commercials, products, other songwriters, other collaborators, then it kind of sustains and feeds itself.
And it seems like to me, you're always interested in new things. Like you're always doing something interesting. You're always just coming back from Japan, or you just, worked with, sometimes I looked up today, you worked with Kenny Rogers.
Yeah.
That's one I wouldn't have expected.
Yeah, it's really weird how you kind of fall into these opportunities. But I ended up singing backup with a choir on him whenever he did his Christmas show and made his rounds. So I got to do that for a little bit. I got to sing backup for 50 Cent a couple times. Tony Orlando whenever he was in town. Random gigs like that. But and that's just a byproduct of just staying around good people, being very nice to people, which you should always be. But then coming in prepared. I think as long as you come in with those things, a good attitude and prepared, there's no reason they shouldn't have you back.
I love that. So what do you think, Sarah? What do you think the kids need to know?
Yeah, well, I loved listening to your music. It's really inspiring, and it was cool to hear the stuff that you did with Hookist, and just how I think that's the cool thing about this platform is the co-writing feels so seamless with the artist that it doesn't feel like I think you can imagine that it could feel like a Frankenstein if all these ideas, but it really doesn't. I think my question and the students that I work with and them as songwriters, specifically when you're arranging for multiple voices, I have kids who struggle. They might have an idea for melody and they might have an idea for harmony in terms of like chord progression, but they struggle to find vocal harmonies that fit together. And so I'm curious about your writing process. Like, is it different every time? Or do you normally start with melody and then build down? Or, what's your process when you don't have instruments?
For sure. I mean, so for my group Duwendé, we typically have one we just bring in a bunch of song ideas. So if you're talking about original music, you bring in a bunch of song ideas, you construct or kind of produce your original song, and then we take it and record it in instruments and synths and all the other things, and then we reduce it down. So we actually take out the instruments and then start to mimic the instruments behind or the drum pattern behind with our mouths. Or, of course, if a lot of people, instead of trying to just imitate the guitar sound, they'll just make syllables that are similar to the guitar sound. So if you're doing a cover per se, then you want to do your best to service the music and then honor like what's already there and then adding your own flair to it. So I think we've done a combination of literally all those things. And I think any given day, we're inspired to start one way or another. But of course, melody is always king in my book anyway. So as long as you're honoring the melody, you can service the melody, the original song, and then service what's already been there and adding your own flavor, then I think you can't go wrong.
Cool. I love that. So cool. It's cool to hear that you actually record with instruments for your originals and then take them away.
Yeah, we just find that like for our process and the type of music that we've always done, it just feels better to start from that side as opposed to coming in from without any instruments completely. So and we have a lot of people who do a lot of different things and a lot of different talents as well. So it allows us to still kind of squeeze as much juice out of the guitarist in the group or the person who's used to using drum pads or anything like that. They can still kind of get their expression out, and then we're able to kind of like reroute it backwards a little bit.
It takes you on an extra ride, it seems like, like the ride is a lot longer in this journey. So there's so much creativity, and I mean, it has to be really complicated with 6 personalities too.
Very, very much so. It's you learn more than anything how to work with other people. So you know what I mean? I think that's a life lesson we'll all learn at some point. We can't always get our way, have to learn how to compromise in order to make a good collaborative project. So I would say that's probably more important. Exactly.
There's nothing better. And I think that's one of the coolest things too, is that at the end of the day, you guys built something together, that wouldn't exist without specifically you guys. Like, okay, it might be a guitar, you start with a guitar, but that it's the body really does become an instrument. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. It's really cool. I think that's something that's always kind of intrigued us is we get to kind of be the direct connection between one person and another, and usually the third party is the instrument or the interpretation is kind of going through something else. So I think we've always valued that piece is we get to kind of throw those to the wayside and go direct to the source, spirit connection. Yeah, we're just into that type of energy.
And Dan, I mean, that'd be an interesting thing. Can you add a way to teach someone how to go from playing the guitar to being a boombox?
Yeah, we certainly could take the same, learning philosophy that we have and do it for the voice, right? Whether it's singing vocals or doing beatboxing. But I wanted to ask you, what has been the most difficult instrument to try to imitate or recreate?
Oh man, I mean, personally, the one I've always struggled with, and I've seen people do really, really, really well in the acapella community is the harmonica. I've seen some harmonicas that you would
Wow.
have thought somebody swallowed a whole harmonica and was just kind of breathing up sounds. So that is one that still escapes me. I won't embarrass myself and try to do it today. But yeah, that one's always kind of been difficult for me.
You mentioned guitar. Can you give us a little demo of what a guitar might sound like?
So what we typically do is we try to get as close as we can to the guitar sound before we maybe like add a little reverb or do anything that you might typically do with a guitar. Now that I'm on the spot, excuse me. It might sound like a, like it's more all right in the front. You're almost squeezing air through your teeth. And the way the microphone picks that
Mm-hmm.
up, it allows it almost to read as distortion.
Uh,
You know what I mean? So it's more like manipulating your amplification than anything.
yeah,
Wow.
so you're not, I mean, there's obviously like acapella without amplification, but you can do a whole new world of things once you've got like, TikTok, the technology with it. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And yeah, we're still exploring like the capabilities of what that sounds like and what that could feel like in a live setting as well. There's so many loopers out there doing their thing, and I think we're just interested to see how far we can take it.
It's awesome.
Totally.
It's super exciting. You know what I did want to touch on
Yeah.
too is you wrote a song that I think is, it makes me teary right now. But I think,
Oh
right
man.
now, I love it so much. And you're the guy that is the good energy guy, but like life is not always easy. And I feel like today in this world,
Yeah.
like we're seeing social media and we're seeing people being it looks like life is perfect. And then people go home and they feel like their life is not perfect. And it's just, I think your music really, your personal solo music just really touches on that, like where you're
Thank
putting
you.
out all this good energy, but also you're pointing out like, hey, it's not always that easy. Sometimes it's really
Oh
hard.
yeah. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I for one I'm like, I don't know. We all see the good stuff on Instagram and TikTok for the most part, So I've never been one to shy away from what's real or authentic. Sometimes I don't want to get out of bed, and sometimes like I might cry for like an hour or something like that, just because everything feels so overwhelming. But yeah, I don't see any shame in talking about it. Like we all go through it. The only difference is I'm telling you about mine. you
But
know?
it makes us all feel human, like that's what I feel like. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing it. Because like sometimes you need to know
Oh,
someone else is
thank
not
you.
feeling good either.
Absolutely. I think, and to me, that's more interesting to find out like what makes us more like connected and in common in that way. Everybody loves it when it's sunny outside, but like, share some of your pain with me too, because I got that going on over here.
Yeah,
So
it makes a deeper bond, I
yeah,
think. Yeah.
yeah.
I think I read somewhere that
Well,
like really good song, it says what we don't want to say, right? Or it says what the culture doesn't want to
mm,
say. And I think good artists
right,
are
yeah.
able to put that to music and convey something that maybe we're all feeling inside but don't know how to express and communicate. And when you hear a song that hits that on the head, like everybody knows it.
And actually,
Hmm. Totally agree.
Sarah wrote an amazing article for our Hookist blog about what you're afraid to say. Like, I mean, you gave it a very funny title, but it truly is about it. It's like about cheesy lyrics.
Yeah, I have a lot of students who feel insecure about lyrics. I mean, I still get insecure about my lyrics, but a lot of it is I don't want this to sound too cheesy. And usually what they're saying is, I don't want to be real and feel something. You know, it's been way cooler to not share your feelings for so long. But I do feel like this generation is changing a lot. Like they are way more open to sharing their feelings than my students were 10 years ago. But I talked about the case for cheesy lyrics. And sometimes when I'm having students write songs, my first assignment for them is write the cheesiest set of lyrics you can write. Just get it over with. Like, do whatever you think is cheesy, get over that fear, and then just start writing things that you feel and stop worrying about how people will receive them. Trust that if these are truly your feelings, someone else has felt them and they're going to receive them authentically. Yeah.
It's a great article, and it seemed like a perfect, because you weren't afraid to say it. I mean, nothing in there is cheesy, that's for sure. But you say it in such a gentle way sometimes that the thing that like really gets you in the heart, some of your lyrics, which I think is that's really hard to do. That's one thing that we talk about a lot at Hookist is like simplify. Just, it doesn't need to be flowery. It just, sometimes the most simple line is going to hit everyone. It's going to resonate for everyone, and it doesn't have to try really hard. It just is important. So anyway, that's what so today we just, right before you got on, we announced a new winning lyric. We're writing this song. It's about the passage of time.
Ooh.
And so nice. We have a winner named Jalhart Davis. So let's all say congratulations, Jalhart Davis. Sarah's going to put it to music, and we're going to put it out in the world at the end of this, in the middle of June. So that is our process. So I want to thank you for coming. Anyone else have any other questions? Anything we should ask? Do you think that the kids might want to know?
I guess, go ahead, Sarah.
No, I always ask when I interview artists just to say like one thing you wish someone had said to you when you were in high school. And I work with high schoolers, but specifically about music. Like, what's one thing you wish you had heard? What advice do you wish you had heard when you were a teenager?
Oh, man. If I were to pick one thing, I've heard a lot of good pieces of advice. I would probably say the one piece of advice that I've heard over and over again is more people are where you want to be because they said yes. So if you notice, like you might come up with a group of friends who all wanted to do musical theater or want to write music or do songs. And as you start to get older and time goes on, people start to drop out for their various reasons. It's not for them. They want to pursue something different. It's all okay. But I notice the people who are often there are just the ones who say yes. They keep saying yes. So, they say yes for free for a little bit. They say yes until it starts to turn into money. They say yes to the opportunities that other artists don't want to take. And eventually that's the stuff that kind of leads you to where you want to get to. But keep saying yes. Don't let saying no be the reason you don't go where you want to go.
And it's a really good way to not, to force yourself out of your comfort zone, like that's like what I was an actor for many years. And that was like my thing too, like the freebie, my God, how many freebies did I do? But, like you end up in scaring yourself, but it's the best kind of fear. And then, you get kind of fearless after a while, or at least comfortable in your fear, which I think is key to being an artist.
Absolutely. It never goes away. That's the other thing that nobody tells you. The fear doesn't go away. You just choose more frequently against it.
Yes.
It never goes away.
Exactly.
Embrace it, right?
Yes.
You just learn how to embrace it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's actually a great book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, which I love. Yeah. Good motto,
Slogan. That's my slogan right there. Yeah.
Totally. Well, thank you so much. It's so good to see you. What are you up to next?
Sure. Likewise. I appreciate it. I've been on the road for a little bit. I was actually back out. I was in Arkansas for a few days not too long ago doing a festival out there. But what's coming up next is more the music videos releasing from the Duwendé album. We're releasing more singles coming out off of that album. And then I'm dropping a single next month. I'm dropping a single May 25th. So it's called Manipulation. I hope everybody checks it out.
We will definitely check it out. Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Jay Aaron. Yes. Now tell everybody what's your handle on Instagram, because I always spell it wrong.
Yes, on Instagram. It's all right. I don't spell it good. It's JAARON_.
There you go. Yes. I will find you. So Duwendé, and you can always find our song Getting Down on the Hookist platform.
Yes.
And we link directly to, your Spotify and all of that. So people can follow you, they can listen to your music, and we can find out when your next, when your song drops and the new record drops.
That's very, very kind. Always down to support. It's good to hear from you. It's good to see you again.
Great to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Congratulations to Mark Davis. Submit your lyrics, everybody. We want to see them. Vote, comment, and spread the love.
Week 3 is next.
Yeah. All right. Ciao, everybody. Thank you.
Nice to meet you guys.